Hi, I'm Darren Potke, Executive Director of USTA Georgia. I don't have to tell you that the last 12 months have been a very challenging year for all of us. However, so many people have stepped up and reached out to make great things happen in our communities all across our state. Here at USTA Georgia, we have created some special COVID-19 2020 service awards to celebrate all of the positive things that have happened this year, and there has been a lot. Congratulations to all of our nominees and category winners, and thank you for all you continue to do to promote and develop the growth of tennis, not just in your area, but across our great state. One of our categories was the Tennis at Home Provider, and it recognizes providers here in Georgia that have continued to encourage all players to stay connected to tennis during this pandemic digitally. I'm pleased to announce that the winner is Helen Powell of the Columbus Regional Tennis Association. I did also want to take a moment to congratulate the nominees in this category, Jenny Edelman and Stuart Russell. Recently, I sat down with Helen to discuss her fantastic cooking program that she developed for all the Columbus Regional Tennis Association NJTL members. I hope you enjoy the conversation. Well, welcome back, folks, to the USTA Georgia 2020 COVID-19 Service Awards presentations. Unfortunately, we can't do it in person, but virtual, I guess, is the next best thing. At least that's what some people say. And joining me today is the winner of the Tennis at Home Provider category, Helen Powell of the Columbus Regional Tennis Association, or as it's known in tennis circles, CORTA. Helen is the Development and Outreach Coordinator for CORTA. Helen, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us. And, you know, CORTA is really not just a model in Georgia, but Southern and national is what a CTA, a Community Tennis Association, really should be. And you have a great role there. You primarily won this award because when the pandemic hit, you came up with some very intriguing ways of keeping your STAR kids connected, which I believe stands for Students Together Achieving Results. And
Correct.
You did it through cooking. So I'm going to let you tell that story. How did you come up with that, and maybe how are you able to execute that?
Okay, well, I am going to admit that this was not an original Helen Powell idea. My son, who is in Indiana, Brian, actually works with an organization that does outreach. And he had told me that what they were doing since COVID and they couldn't meet in person was to do what they called crockpot cooking, crockpot meals. I'm sorry?
Double C, crockpot cooking.
Right. So anyway, I started thinking about food insecurity and building independence and just having a way for our kids to basically still be connected. They didn't know me at all. They had not met me. There had been someone else in my role, and she had been gone for about a couple of weeks when I came in. So, you know, it was really one of those things where I didn't really know a whole lot about Zoom, but I talked to Judy Pierce, and she basically, you know, I just said, well, what if we do something on a Zoom level where we could teach very basic cooking skills, and we would provide the ingredients, and either if they had transportation to pick up, because they had been coming here before, then They could pick up the ingredients a day or two before our cooking class, or I would take the ingredients to them. So I do have a couple of families that I deliver to every week, but the majority of them do come by and pick up their ingredients, and then we prepare it. And they've gotten so good at it that honestly, they usually have it prepared before the call, and they're eating a lot of times when we're doing our other parts, which is the academic instructor has a part. Now we've had some guest speakers. We've added some other people because I just feel like, you know, variety is a good thing. But I think what I was really surprised at was how excited they were to try something different. They really kind of were, you know, not afraid at all to work, you know, to think about measurements and nutrition. And we talked about different ingredients and, you know, some things they didn't like and some things they loved. And we've repeated those loved recipes many times. Meatball
chocolate cake. Yeah.
Yeah. Mug cake was a fave. It still is. but they were really just open to trying some new things. And I would always tell them, they would have some things they could substitute in if they wanted to, if they had something else at their house they liked better. But they were really good to at least try it. And so I feel like we've expanded, kind of their things that they would normally maybe not try, and now they're willing to try some things. And just their ability to feel confident about what they've achieved really has been inspiring. And those who were very quiet to start with are now very engaged, and they're like, Miss Helen, what if I do this? What if I do that?
Right.
And so I've been very pleased with not just building that rapport with those children, but watching them just come out of their shell and, give them something to distract them from all the things that we've been going through that have been challenging. Some of them are still doing virtual school. And so we didn't want it to be another school activity. We wanted it to be something fun, something that they would enjoy and look forward to. So even with the academic instructor, she really has her part in a more fun, imaginative presentation, if you will. And we didn't want it, like I said, to be, just another Zoom class that they had to get on and
Right.
it be more of a chore than a pleasure. So.
Did you find that the kids ate their vegetables more if they cooked it themselves?
They would eat things that I was surprised they would eat, but then we would have a few that were just like, well, I didn't put that in my recipe, but I would tell them, I'd say, well, just give it a little taste, just try it and see what you think. And some of them, would definitely try it. And surprisingly, sometimes they liked it.
Sure. Yeah, I think I saw on Twitter and I'm just joking here, but one of your kids put up, I draw the line with Brussels sprouts and quinoa. Not doing it. So that's fantastic.
Well, I think a lot of people might draw that line.
Well, that's true. Maybe not in this house. Well, it's funny because like during the pandemic, I've actually started cooking a little more. My wife's going to laugh when she hears this, but you got to start big. I started, hey, I want to make risotto, which is probably the most difficult thing you can make, right? So got to start at the very top. But what a great idea. And how has that helped those kids maybe, in terms of the tennis element of it, coming back, because you did have a frying pan drill, a lot of calisthenics, because that has been a challenge with the pandemic because I have 3 kids of my own and I'm a twin dad, keeping the kids active. How have you met that challenge?
Well, we have incorporated, we actually had a student from Duke who had produced some videos, some at-home tennis videos. And so we shared those with the kids. Everybody received a racket and some foam balls so that they could practice, even if they just had a wall to hit on. I would tell them, I say, make sure your parent, grandparent, is okay with this. And if if they want you to go outside, let's not break anything. But,
right. Stay away from the windows.
Yes, that's right. Stay away from the windows. But they have enjoyed, I think, just the ones who haven't returned to the courts, because we have been offering now for some time, probably 8 weeks, we've been having on-court tennis again. And those who have been comfortable coming are coming. Probably about 50% of the kids are coming, and the rest of them are still, not quite ready to come out. But, I'm hoping that'll change. The weather's getting nicer, and certainly, but I did find the ones that came to the courts, we really did have kind of a little bit of rust to knock off. And not to say they didn't have fun. They have fun every time they come out. But, some of the building blocks we had to kind of go over again and get them used to, the way you hold the racket and just some of the other things. But I think, with tennis, with a lot of other life building skills, it's really not always about the tennis, but it's about the sportsmanship and the kindness and, being a good sport. On Zoom calls even, raising your hand before you shout out something, they are just growing as people. And I think that we have tried to do some things incorporating cultures of other countries. We've done a lot this month about Black History Month. And, I was honestly just surprised at their candid answers about questions, about things that had happened in the past and things that they wish for in the future. And to me, that just shows such a maturity, even from 5 and 6 year olds, that I was
Sure.
really not expecting.
Yeah.
So, I think just the rapport building we've been able to do on a weekly basis, touching those you can. When I first got started, we only had 1 or 2 that were coming on the Zoom class, and now we have, really about 20, sometimes more. But they are just blossoming even through all of this adversity. And I think that, I remember being a little girl, my great grandmother telling me a real positive statement about what she expected from me as I grew up. And she expected me to do great things. And she told me that. And I think that when you plant that seed in these children and tell them that they are able to do something and they can see that they can, and we expect great things from them, then you're going to see these great results. And I think that's the part that I just really am thrilled about. Tennis skills is great, and I want them to have a passion for tennis as well. But just being good people to me is so much more important.
Sure. Well, we're biased, right? Because we love tennis, we love the sport. But
That's
tennis is. I mean, my argument is it's the best sport for kids, and the reason why is this.
Anybody.
Yeah. Not just the health benefit of it, but also, it teaches our youngsters how to conflict resolute out on court. I mean, you're not going to resort to punching your opponent or whatever if you don't like something. You guys got to work it out. It's your game. It also teaches independence, and more importantly, the ability to stand up for yourself. That's sometimes, because sometimes you have to do that. And so you incorporate all those things. It's definitely a great, and there are a lot of great sports too, don't get me wrong.
I know.
But it does incorporate a lot of that, and it really helps kids. And most players who play tennis it translates well in the classroom as well. They tend to be a little disciplined academically, and not all, but most.
Right.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Bobby Flay is coming to be a guest speaker at your? I heard that rumor.
Wouldn't that be great? I would love it. One of our players is actually talking about wanting to be on Food Network. She's seen that children do the baking competitions, and she's like, "Hey, I can do that." And I said, "You really can." So I mean, I wouldn't doubt if they were to appear somewhere, and really just shine. So
I think they're looking for somebody on Chopped next week. Send a recommendation. So that's kind of scary. I knew that show it existed, but we do watch a little bit of the Food Network. So last question here: have you actually tasted some of your students' creations, and what can you say? Was it mouth-watering?
No.
Did you need a drink with it? To be honest.
Do what? Now say that again. I'm sorry.
Did you need a drink with it, or was it really good? But you can be honest. Don't lie now.
They actually usually send me beautiful pictures, because sometimes when we are doing something a little more complicated, it doesn't get completed during the time that we're on the call. So, I always tell them that, please send me a picture. I want to see, how it turned out. And I mean, some of the pictures honestly look like they could have been in a cookbook. I have just been so pleased. So that, along with some of their other projects they've done, they've been very proud, and parents have been great, grandparents, to send me photographs of either them eating their food or their food, and all that makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, what a tremendous innovative idea. It was a difficult year last year, and to engage those students of all diverse backgrounds and teach them a new life skill and incorporate education and tennis into it. That's exactly that's the utopia. I would think you would agree.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, our CORTA family, Judy and the rest of the team, have all been a part of this. They've either guest starred, helped me prepare the recipe while I'm talking it through, allowed this to be a project that has been successful. And, without that, you really have nothing. So really, my hat's off to our entire team for the support they've given me and to the kids, and just allowing this to go forward. Some people aren't too open to new ideas, so this was, really something that I appreciated, at least giving it a try, and I feel like it's really been successful.
Oh yeah, huge success, and frankly, that's why you are the Tennis at Home Provider winner for the 2020 COVID-19 Service Awards that USTA Georgia gives. So, Helen, congratulations to you and CORTA, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, folks, that's the USTA Georgia 2020 COVID-19 Service Award winner for the Tennis at Home Provider category, the Development and Outreach Coordinator for CORTA, Helen Powell. We appreciate her joining us today. Look for our next episode shortly. Thanks for watching.